When it comes to describing D&D combat, it's a lot easier to do when you see the hit points as being a representation of the physical body. When you don't do that, when you see the hit points as just something that represents, how much time the character has in combat, when they hit 0, they die, but maybe if they lost 4 hit points, it's just that they're exhausted, it's not that they're injured or damaged. I think it's really hard to describe that for less creative dungeon masters. You might get the 1% that can handle that, but to give a lot of description to that, it's going to not work out for most dungeon masters. They're not going to have all these different things to say. But when you get to hit points representing the physical body, it's a lot easier to say, you cut the arm, you cut through the arm or into the stomach, you cut down by the leg. And you could just give various places, and the slash across, the slash up, all these different little details. There's so many variations that you can do and give a descriptions that are very simple when you tie hit points to the body as a representation of the body. So there's something you want to consider if you're someone who wants to do more than hit, miss during combat. And that's all you're stating to your players, but you want to do more. Well, again, you might want to focus on hit points representing the body, at least on some level. You can tell the player that their character feels a sharp pain as the blade cuts the skin. Or they feel the warmth of the blood going down their body, going over their stomach or down their legs. They can feel that warm feeling after that sharp pain. This really gives some color, to the situation. It helps your players paint what's going on in their imagination. And that's really what you're looking to do when you're giving description that is more than hit, miss. And it does work. I would also say you want to go at a good pace with combat, in combination with giving description. Then you really paint up the scene and you keep your players as best you can in immersion during combat. And that can be hard to do with combat, but if you can get a good pace on the go and then you add this description, trust me, your players can feel something. They can feel exhausted from the cuts and the blood going down. Like, just mentally, right? The fight makes them tired. Like, they feel like they've been through some type of hell. And that's what you want them to feel. That's what combat is, right? It's intense. And you want that to be the outcome where the players are almost like, they're looking at you almost gasping for air, like they're out of breath because they used a lot of energy, even though they're just sitting at the table. As I said in a previous video, if you can immerse your players into combat, like get them into their imagination during a combat scene, and they face character death, most players that you would think would frown at what happened, wouldn't be happy about the outcome, they're way more accepting most of the time when they're immersed. Here's what most players don't want to have, as an experience. They don't want to be rolling dice, not in their imagination, not immersed, really not even there. And then at one point through all that, they're told, your character is dead. They don't even really feel like they're playing anything or they're in anything. It's not intense. It's not, they're not in the imagination having fun. So they're just watching dice roll and then losing a character. You don't want that. If you really want to know how players are going to be more accepting of character death, take them into immersion, right? Immerse them in their imagination during combat and you will get players, the majority, accepting, happily in some cases, accepting character death where they're happy with the experience. Because at the end of the day, most players might not realize this, but that is what they are there for. And if the experience is really good, that can include character death, you'll be amazed at the reaction you get from many players that go through that under these circumstances, if you get it right. Remember, Game Master, no matter what the system is, you are responsible for the experience. And if you want to stick to raw or stick to the book or do something like that, and when something by the book doesn't work out, you want to accept that as an excuse, you go ahead. But I think that's bullshit. I think the experience overall is on you. And if there's any area of the game where you need to adjust, like say combat, to make it better for you and your players, you should. You shouldn't have excuses. And you shouldn't have excuses to be slow. If you're being slow, speed up. Do better. If you're not doing details, well, consider what I said in this video. You really should. Anyway, for now, take care. You know what you can do? You can hit the like button.
you can share the video. Oh, and there's another button you can press. That one that lets you subscribe to my channel for more content. Oh yeah, there's that bell thing. You can press that so you know when I've uploaded a new video right away.